What's going on, everyone? Welcome into a brand new episode of Snaps. Hopefully, your favorite college football podcast. I'm TBob Abear. He is Aaron Murray, and Aaron says we have figured out how to do chapters on YouTube. So we'd love to see it.
Big day.
And have you watching on demand, you can skip all of the nonsense at the beginning of the show and get right into the football. And we got a lot of football planned for you today. In fact, I'm going to type some of it up in a tweet right now to push the link out. Aaron, what's up, brother? How are we feeling?
Man, feeling good. Happy Tuesday. Is Georgia the number one team in the baseball in baseball yet? I haven't seen the new rankings, but the Dogs continue to kick ass.
Sean, what is this? What is this? What are you doing?
Should be close.
Name a single Georgia baseball player.
I tried to make money last week in basketball. You didn't listen. And the Dogs are kicking ass in baseball. So
name a single Georgia baseball player.
Charlie Condon.
That he's gone, right? He was gone. I think, isn't it? No, LeBron's from Alabama. To be fair, I actually don't know a Georgia baseball player. Do you know who the Georgia baseball head coach is?
He used to be at LSU.
He was the Minnesota Twins pitching coach before that. Wes Johnson.
Nice.
That's what you're looking for. Certified fucking dog. The weird part about Georgia is, though, he's a pitching coach and a damn good one. Yeah. But Georgia can't really pitch, but they can hit. Like, the amount of runs that Georgia is putting up is absolutely absurd.
Incredible.
And they are burying teams right now. Have you been out to a game yet?
No, I've not.
Have you watched a game on TV yet?
No.
Well, then what are we talking about, dude?
I don't know. I just figured I'd put something out there and see if anyone gets excited. I need to. It's so easy for you. You live in Baton Rouge. You can pop over to a game anytime. For me, it's an hour and a half drive.
I don't go to the games, to be fair.
Okay. Do you watch them on TV?
Yes. Yeah.
It's part of your job, though. You cover LSU. This
is true, but there are a few sports that I've learned to appreciate more as I've gotten older than having a baseball game where you actually care about the team that's involved. It is a fantastic time where it's not like a lot of these other sports where it demands constant attention. So maybe you're like cooking while you're doing it. Maybe you're folding laundry and then you lock in like seventh inning on, or maybe you lock in the entire time. It's also a great social game. If you're drinking beers with friends and watching, it's just like the absolute best.
What's your thought on the new bats for the Yankees?
So I've talked about this on a couple shows now. I think it's awesome. I think it's innovative. I think it's very interesting. The science is pretty. Look, I have and apologies if you heard me say this morning. Hold on. Let me get out this tweet so I can stop thinking about it. I have an appreciation for people who maintain their curiosity and look at something and just don't take it at face value. 99% of us see a bat. We say, that's a bat. That's a baseball bat. That's fine. That's what it's always. It's a baseball bat. It's easy, right? And no, this guy said, look, pitchers are striking out guys at all-time high right now. How could we change the bat? And then this incredibly simple idea of like, oh, let's just, because you have to deal with the same amount of wood.
Yes,
so it's like
just
the same overall budget. You're just moving the mass around, right? So it's like, oh, well, let's just make the sweet spot bigger. It's like an incredible simplicity in there that I really appreciate. And I also love, I don't know why.
Is it making it bigger or it just moved it? I don't think it made it. It moved it more to
it's making the barrel. It's making the barrel of the bat thicker because you're tapering the end. Yep. So it is thickening it up a little bit. And yes, that is the part that I actually find to be most, I think it's thickening it up, but that is the part that I find to be most interesting, Aaron, is the weight distribution.
Yeah.
Because instead of the weight being on the far end of the pole, you're moving it towards your body, which creates a faster swing.
Yep.
Like think about swinging a sledgehammer. And then what if you moved the head of the sledgehammer 8 inches towards you? Not that it's not 8 inches, but you get what I'm saying. Like that's going to be significantly easier to swing. So I find it all to be fascinating. and awesome. Okay, they did not make the sweet spot bigger. They just moved it down. Interesting.
Yeah, they moved it more because so many guys are getting they're getting jammed up, weak hits because the balls are fucking everyone's throwing 100 miles per hour, can't get the bat around. So they moved it from having to get the weight of the bat here all the way around to just now this part needing to get there. Now that's
I think that's very cool. I think the physics of that is very cool.
It's not cheating. At the end of the day, I think you said, but it's because I've heard many people like, oh, it's cheating, it's bullshit, it's not the way the game's supposed to be. It's like nothing that they're doing is against the rules. The wood is the same amount. It's just moving it. I feel like golf does that too with golf clubs. Like they move where the sweet spot is. They change the shafts. No one's out there saying that DeChambeau's cheating in golf because he has maybe an inch longer or a little bit thicker or whatever it may be, or all the clubs are the same length. He's playing within the rules. He's testing new things out, and it's working.
I mean, people make new pitches. People make new pitches all the time and shit. So it's like, yeah, who cares? I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. And now what I am very intrigued to see, Aaron, are you frozen? Guys, is this just on my end? So I'm just going to keep talking because I'm not entirely sure. Chat, let me know if I'm frozen or if Aaron's frozen. But what I am intrigued to see is, are we witnessing a true revolution here, right? Like the same way in which Steph Curry exploited the three-point line in the NBA. You know, Joe Lacob saying it's a market inefficiency and all this stuff. And now everything in basketball is about the three-point line. Like, will this be the standard operating bat from here on out? I am very intrigued to see that. But that look, we're at a small sample size here that will only get those answers over time. All right, so it was Aaron that was frozen. All right, guys. So on today's show, shout out to my favorite, that SEC podcast. Oh man, I think okay. If we're doing timestamps, let me get in the habit of this. I don't know if I'm doing this right. So shout out that SEC podcast because they put up a graphic with the records of 2025 opponents in 2024. This is a way of looking at the strength of schedule for each SEC team. And I think that's kind of fun to look at when you combine it as well with the over-under win totals that have been released by Las Vegas. I really want to talk about Andrew Luck and Stanford. I think what Andrew Luck has done at Stanford with the Frank Reich thing is pretty fascinating. I want to give a shout out to Coastal Carolina and the free concessions. I don't know if you heard about this, Aaron, but it's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's genius.
The NCAA denies the request for Colorado and Syracuse to play a spring game, which in and of itself we can get into. But then Fran Brown, I thought, had some really good audio that came out on it yesterday that is worth playing. We got a new Deion contract we maybe touch on. Jeremy Pruitt suing the NCAA as well. So that's all going to be on today's show, guys. Again, like it, share it. We're live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 Eastern, noon Central. Welcome back, Aaron.
Hello.
You good?
Let's get into it.
All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and share my screen here. I should have had it might have been better to have on. Let me actually, you know what? Let me look it up because I'm going to go to our guy, SEC Mike's Twitter. Again, that SEC podcast, guys. Shout out to Mike and cousin Shane. Absolutely love them. And here it is.
Production value. Incredible. Here we go.
Shut up.
Fucking great.
I bet you do this. Okay.
No,
here are the records of, so you look at each team's schedule and you do the record of their 2025 opponents. What did they do in 2024? And it's for the SEC. And remember, Aaron, we did this last season as well.
Yep.
And it's kind of interesting. The chart looks a lot like this season, which I guess makes sense because it's just the same schedule for everybody, just flipped home and away. But I think that bears mentioning because what that means is it ended up being a pretty good indicator of strength of opponent.
Yeah.
Remember last year, Tennessee and Mizzou were the only ones I think that had like sub 500 totals on this thing. Well, who's at the bottom still with the easiest schedules? Tennessee and Mizzou. So like the order's kind of largely unchanged. So this does give you a pretty good idea of what to expect
Two
here.
of the teams that struggled mightily last year, Arkansas and Mississippi State. You look at their schedule. Obviously, Kentucky as well. Massive struggles last year. Look at that record as well. And then, you know,
what the fuck?
Yeah. And then obviously the big one that was talked a lot about last year, Texas, Oklahoma joining the SEC, and Oklahoma essentially being dealt the tougher of the two hands. Texas, easier schedule, better home schedule as well. Getting Georgia to go to their house. Obviously didn't capitalize on that home field advantage against the Dogs, but still overall an easier schedule for the Longhorns compared to the Sooners. And then they have to play it all over again this season. Ole Miss taking advantage. Alabama, this is a surprising one to me, did not take advantage of the schedule last year based on these numbers, and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. I mean, Alabama would have had no great out of conference game, right? That would have changed anything. So
Wisconsin was their big one, I believe.
Yeah,
I mean, their big loss was to Oklahoma. That's what kept them out.
So basically here, okay, you hit on my first thought, which was Oklahoma continues to get fucked compared to Texas. I mean, look at that. A full 10 wins harder than what the Texas Longhorns are going to face. Tennessee and Mizzou continue to get lucky as hell. And look, Tennessee obviously took advantage of it.
Yeah,
I mean, they were one of the teams that found the way to playoffs. Mizzou did as well. In a year in which Brady Cook was super disappointing and never got to where he needed to be. Luther Burden, very disappointing. You still managed to win 10 games. Yeah. So credit to both of them, but they did have an easier run. Mm-hmm. You mentioned being disappointed in Alabama. I'd also be very disappointed if I was an Ole Miss fan. Again, you're right on the edge of all of your dreams, and yet you fucked it up at the finish line like you always seem to do.
You lost to Florida.
Yep. You lost to Florida. You can have it. And to be credit, look, Ole Miss fans, same thing with LSU. So talk all that shit you want, because LSU, if they beat Florida last year, they would have ended up in Atlanta.
Yeah, but I mean, at least LSU had a tougher road to get there. I mean, we said from the very beginning of last season, going back to last season preseason shows, we looked at Ole Miss and Missouri as two teams with the talent returning, mostly Ole Miss, and the schedule that they had, and said there's no reason why that team that went into the portal, got all those guys on defense to bolster that side, already had all the offensive weapons, and then, as you alluded to, kind of crap the bed in that final game against Florida. But Missouri's the same way too. It was the debate, like Ole Miss, Missouri, it was LSU, and I think it was Tennessee. Like those four teams, who is going to get in with Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri having the easier of the schedules, and that being Tennessee's the only one that got in the playoffs.
My other takeaways from this list: God continues to hate Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now, partially, this is because they don't have their own 5-5 record on the docket like a lot of these other schools do, or whatever their record is. But that does not explain just how lucky these schools are getting.
Yep.
I mean, these are the schools that are in the worst spot in the entire SEC, and they have the hardest slates in the entire SEC. Like, what the fuck, dude? We'll see on the over-under.
They don't get to play themselves, unfortunately. So there's just extra wins right
which
there.
Again, yes, that explains partially, but it still doesn't explain so much bad luck.
No, I mean, the fact that Arkansas is 106-53.
Like, what? Their opponents just have like a 65 win percentage, 650. That's insane.
I feel like Arkansas had some good moments last year, though, too. When you look at Arkansas on that schedule, and I had them a couple times. I'm trying to remember what their exact record was. They were borderline. Would they have 5 wins? No, they had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they had 6 wins. They still made a bowl game with that record. That's pretty damn good for Arkansas. New OC, Pittman on the hot seat, new quarterback, 106-53. Like that's kind of impressive. And that's probably
won 7
part.
games.
That's part to do with actually 7 wins because they beat Texas Tech in the bowl game. Part of the reason why they probably kept Sam Pittman. They look at the schedule and say, "Damn, he got through that and 7 wins and a returning quarterback."
I never thought about that. But I think you're right. You know what? Shout out the Hogs. For some reason, the scheduling gods hate you, but that is awesome. That's a good point because Mississippi State did not do that, and neither did Kentucky. They both fucking sucked. And then my final point looking at this chart is Alabama, Georgia, and Texas can fucking suck it. The same way that poor Arkansas State and Kentucky here are out here fighting for their lives. Wouldn't you know, Alabama's combined opponents 82-70, barely above 500. Georgia and Texas slightly over that at 87-70. Georgia 87-67. But look at some of these other numbers. I mean, you mentioned Arkansas 106-53. The Tigers a 94-63 combined record. A&M, Oklahoma, Auburn, some tough paths out there next season for some of these teams. Any other takeaways on this list that bear mentioning?
I think another impressive one is South Carolina. You know, I give a lot of love to Arkansas, but South Carolina, that 94-61, I believe you had, and being 1 win away from being in the playoff with a first-year quarterback. Like, you sit back and say, damn, Beamer did a pretty damn good job with that team too.
That's a very good point, Aaron Murray. All right, so here is another graphic that we're just going to jack from our friends over at That SEC Podcast. And this is the win totals, the 2025 win totals. Again, shout out our guy, SEC Mike. Kevin Spartan says, TBob, never feel bad for Kentucky. Screw them.
TBob does not feel bad for Kentucky.
No, I mean,
ever.
No, I do feel bad for Kentucky because I demand more for Kentucky. Okay, this has been my stance the entire time, and do not even try me. You know I've been consistent here. All y'all tell Kentucky fans to eat shit and be thankful for it. I tell them they deserve better. So I am the Kentucky champion.
Do they deserve better?
Clear
I don't get that. Like, what in our mind makes us feel like Kentucky football deserves better?
Because why not?
$9 million?
Because you're paying the same rate at all these other coaches that win 10 games a year. Yes.
No, they're getting paid $10, $11, $12 million.
Stoops is making fucking $9. What's the difference?
It's the $1 million, baby.
No. Fuck up out of here. You could pay someone $4 million and they would win just as many games as Mark Stoops. True or false?
Probably true.
So what are we doing here?
Yeah,
okay, I'm a Kentucky advocate.
True.
Although here's a funny thing from the baseball weekend. Did you see the little rule that Kentucky exploited against A&M that caused some drama? So on Sunday there's a travel rule. Sometimes it affects, sometimes not. I don't know why. But if an inning started after 4:30, let's say Central.
Yep.
You could not start an inning after that, right? You have to end the game. And so it's like 4:28.
Wait, why do you have to end the game at 4:30?
It's something about travel. Like you just cannot start an inning after 4:30. So
what time
it's
does
the
the game
eighth
start?
inning. I don't know. Stop. Shut the fuck up.
I want to know, like,
none of that matters. None of that matters. The only point that matters is what happens next.
This makes no sense.
Just
why I don't watch baseball.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
This is why I don't watch baseball.
I read the rule book. I just need you to understand the setting. I don't even want to tell the story.
I need to know what time the game started to get more context. Like, is the game been going on for 10 hours? Has the game been going on for 4 hours?
Help me to please.
Like, what time did the game start?
No, okay. I don't care. I don't care. It's a Sunday travel rule. That's all you need to know. So an inning can't start after 4:30. Okay.
So is the game over at that point?
Kentucky it's the 8th inning. Yeah. Kentucky has a lead. And they are pitching. So A&M, I think they're down like 5. A&M's down 5. A&M has 3 outs, top of the 9th, to try to win the game. But Kentucky, knowing it's 4:28, knowing that you can't start the 9th inning, They start running down the pitch clock to the very end. Then they're calling timeout when the pitch clock's at the end. Then they make a pitching change and they push the clock to 4:30. Game over. Couldn't start the ninth inning.
Yeah, good for them.
They took 3 outs away from A&M by taking advantage of an absurd fucking rule.
It was A&M pissed? Like, you can't be.
Yes. Mangione and I can't remember A&M's new coach.
I applaud you for that one, Kentucky.
I mean, look, if somebody's going to create such a stupid rule, like, I'm never going to fault you for going to win the game. But it is cowardly. Like, it's objectively. It's like, I think it'd be coexisting truths. It is both a home move and an objectively strategically smart move. SEC wins are precious.
I would lean more towards the latter. I would lean more towards the latter in that one. I think that is.
So you say no home move at all?
I say very savvy move. Yes.
Okay.
By any means necessary, win the baseball game.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, look, SEC wins are precious. Kentucky, that's the difference between 3-6 and 4-5. I mean, they probably win the game anyway. A&M 1-8. So yeah, it's you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. Anyway, so here are your 2025 win totals for the SEC, and it's kind of interesting when you measure them, against the records here. But Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and Alabama all topping the list at 9.5. Will they go over or under the 9.5?
I'll say this.
Go team by team, but yeah, give me any high level takeaways you have.
I've been doing I'm starting my more in-depth quarterback study from the previous year of like returning quarterbacks and what they're going to look like.
Let's go.
Going to have some doing a mixture of NFL and college, but anyways, going to have some Gunner stuff for tomorrow coming out. So I went back and watched all of Gunner's tape yesterday and today from last season. And I will say, I walked away feeling, if I'm a Georgia fan, which I am, a lot better about Gunner than I did thinking back to last season.
That was a hell of a Notre Dame defense that he did that against, dude.
Yeah, well, then, I mean, even what he did against Texas, too, going in there and performing that. He played well. I mean, he had the one stupid pick where he's trying to throw the ball out of bounds and throws an interception, but played well in that game. I thought played really well in the Notre Dame game, going back and watching that one again. So, like, I look at Georgia's roster, which we know will still be stacked, the schedule they're going to face, and seeing enough good things from Gunner and hearing enough good things from Camp to say, like, okay, that makes sense that Georgia's going to be somewhere around that, probably 10 or 11 wins next year.
Okay, so this is all to say you're smashing the Georgia over here.
I would smash the Georgia over there. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're gonna push comes to shove, I'm gonna give the dogs the benefit of the doubt and Kirby Smart still. I'll say this about Gunner Stockton. I've been studying the tape as well, and Gunner's hairline, I fucking love. Like, after the Carson Beck experience, Gunner Stockton's hairline is exactly what Georgia fans need. Okay. Yeah. That's a fucking man. That's a man who's not here for all the glitz and the glamour. That's a man who's here to work. Bottom fucking line. So I'm a big Gunner Stockton fan after studying that hairline more.
I like the top two. I like Georgia. I like Texas. I have an issue with the next two. I worry about Tennessee and the weapons. I worry about Alabama and the new quarterback. And I'm hearing someone in the chat said, and I saw this as well from Royal Payne.
Yeah, Royal Payne said
Ty Simpson's lighting it up. According to a lot of people, I kind of saw the same thing as well. So, like, maybe if you feel comfortable and believe in that, then you say yes. But like I said, I've seen Gunner play well against great defenses and get that game experience. We have not seen Ty Simpson play well in games to say, like, okay, is what he's doing in spring football going to translate into SEC ball come next season? That's more of a question mark than Gunner. So I have less confidence in smashing that over for Alabama than I do for Georgia.
Easier schedule for Bama, though, and really easy schedule for Tennessee.
Tennessee just lost so much on both sides. So much.
Didn't Texas lose a lot as well? But are we just assuming they're still loaded because they're going to put $30 million in, and they're still very fleshed out with blue chippers. Yes. Also, I like Arch. I like
Sark too, and I like Heupel.
Out too. Of the 4, if I had to choose one out of the 4, I would choose the Dogs.
Yep.
And that's all I'll answer on that front right now. Next up at 8.5. Oh, sorry, Aaron. Did you have anything else?
No, I was gonna say the 8.5. I love LSU. You know how I feel about LSU. I've said this for a month now. I love the Tigers heading into next season.
Yeah, 8.5. LSU Ole Miss. LSU better hit the over. Otherwise, Brian Kelly's reputation is going to be kind of shattered. I don't think coach change will be made or anything, but I guess how much of this comes down to the Clemson game? If you lose the Clemson game, then you're going to have to go 9-2 the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Doable, though. Ending the season with a frisky John Mateer in Oklahoma, in OU, like who knows? Could they maybe be good? There's
gotta go to Alabama.
Yeah, there's some pitfalls here, but 9-2 with a Clemson loss does feel like it would actually be a massive disappointment if they were to miss that. So, but whatever. I've talked about this because I've talked about this with Saints win totals as well. Whenever you cover a team close enough, you can always craft the argument for why the over should be the answer.
Oh yeah.
And I think I would have been wrong on LSU probably 4 out of the last 5 years. So fuck me. What do I know? They'll probably go
not 3 years ago. I wouldn't say Brian Kelly's first year. I think it most people would have said under first year. They ended up making the SEC championship game. So got over on that one. So I like LSU. I
gotta say, dude, I really like the Ole Miss over.
I do too.
They got a friendly schedule.
From seeing their quarterback and talking with Lane, there is a I would say quiet because not a lot of people in the SEC around the SEC are talking about it because it's Ole Miss. It's not Georgia or Texas or Bama. There is and should be a lot of excitement about their new quarterback in Oxford. A lot of excitement.
A pretty friendly road schedule to at Kentucky, at Georgia, which is very hard, but at Oklahoma and at Mississippi State. So at Kentucky, Mississippi State, you're talking about 2 year road games being against the easier opponents in the entire conference. Even though you lost Kentucky at home, I guess, last year. And we still don't know what Oklahoma's going to be. So, okay, kind of like that. Yeah. Auburn, A&M, South Carolina, and Mizzou at 7.5. Now, isn't that interesting, given a lot of the hype around South Carolina? And it's funny, I don't know what to make of Mizzou at this point.
I don't either. I think that's
the roster at all.
I think,
but I have enough belief in Drink though, where my instinct here is to smash the over on Mizzou. Cheap schedule. Know. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if I can smash the thumbs up. I mean, you lose your best athlete. You lose your quarterback. I know they didn't play extremely well a year ago. Who did they get at quarterback? They get the guy from Penn State. Is that who they have? Pribula. They got Pribula.
11-2, 10-3. Brady Cook didn't do shit last year. Are you telling me you don't think you can get Brady Cook numbers if you're Mizzou? Let's look up Brady Cook numbers so we can kind of provide some context there.
Oh, it wasn't great. He was banged up most of the season.
Brady Cook last season threw for 2,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks. So that's okay, I guess. Played in 12 games. I mean, he was playing hurt. Hurt. And then he rushed for 205 touchdowns. So you're telling me you can't get 16 tutties out of the quarterback position? Maybe limit those turnovers. I don't know. I'm going off of pure vibes and Drinkwitz and an easy schedule that they'll get to 8 wins.
I would hit under. I would say 7. I would actually maybe even say 7 for South Carolina. I still think South Carolina, with all that they lost on defense.
Yeah, I'm very
I know you bring back one of the premier quarterbacks in the SEC in the country in Lenoris. No doubt about it. I love all of that, but that defense was special last year, and those dudes are gone.
Yeah.
And you
keep Dylan
Stewart struggled with talent around Lenoir. So unless the talent around Lenoir just skyrockets, the offense is going to have to be significantly better this year than last year because the defense is not going to be as good.
And you keep Dylan Stewart, which is great, but kind of has a feeling of almost like a classic overpay. Like, I guess here's what we're going to find out. And I know Dylan Stewart's awesome, but what we're going to find out is, can he now do it when he is the guy, the only guy that everybody's watching? Because last year you had to worry about Kennard, you had to worry about Tonka. Like they had a school. The linebackers are good. I should remember their names.
Secondary was great. I mean, it was
one of the best defenses in the country. Senior laden team.
Yes.
And so big test for Dylan Stewart next year, which is why if Stewart is awesome and is worth the hype, let's give him even more love and bonus points. Because
which I think he is that awesome. And I do think he deserves that kind of hype. But I mean, it takes more than one guy on defense, even if you're a premier pass rusher, for a defense to go out there and play the same way they played a year ago. So like, I lean more towards South Carolina, Missouri under that 7.5. I would lean Auburn A&M over 7.5 if I had to pick of those four.
I ain't trusting anything coming out the plains yet.
Really? Okay.
I do know for a fact that Texas A&M will win 8 games because they will go 8-4.
Yep.
It is Texas 8-4. Thus it is written in the Holy Creed, and thus it will always be. So yes, go ahead and give yourself free money right now, guys, by taking Texas A&M to win over 7.5 games. In Texas 8-4, we trust. Exactly, Zach. Yes. Zach gets it in the chat. Von Bluesman said Ole Miss is on fire. Layla, Lane's ex-wife, paid a visit, and the reconciliation rumors are running wild. Fans are super excited. Yeah, wait, we never covered this on Saturday. I thought that was old news. So they're not officially reconciled?
I thought they were like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I remember her like showing up on social media posts and stuff. Great for them. Every like little Disney 90 kids dream that your parents are going to get back together. My sister's always trying to parent trap my parents. It's crazy. I feel bad for their new loved ones because she's always trying to arrange trips and shit where it's just our
Does your sister not know it's more likely that your mom would get with me before going back with your dad? Does she not understand?
I don't know, bro. Have you seen the Cannon lately? The Cannon's got abs again.
Does he?
Ears getting
Have you
fat,
not seen the young bulls
he wants to get? Bro, I don't look. I'm just gonna say.
I mean, she sent me that picture and said, "Okay, Aaron." I said, "Okay, girl."
That's fine. Look, that's fine. I just hope you have a hog because I've seen my dad's dick, and like you're gonna have a lot to compete with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. 6.5 wins. Let's do our sponsoring. No, we'll wait a little bit. 6.5 wins. Oklahoma and Florida at 6.5. I mean, we're pretty bullish on Florida, right?
I'm bullish on Florida. I am bullish on Florida.
Smash this over, right?
I'm feeling equivalent to our boy Chris Doring and how he felt a year ago about Florida. Remember, he came on the show and he was a extra bullish. Like, I've been to the practices and I see this team, and obviously the season did not start the way that they started. But if you watch the show, you know that I believe that Florida has the most talented quarterback in the SEC in DJ Lagway. His second season, I think Florida can get over that 6.5. Oklahoma,
I can't give him the benefit of the doubt. Not now. Not now.
No,
not now. I am intimidated by John Mateer. Like, as a fan of a team that will have to play Oklahoma, I am intimidated by that. I'm intimidated by Jim Nagy. I don't know how much the Nagy effect can be felt here for number one.
A little early.
Like, I think that's a very shrewd hire to get Oklahoma to be very good long-term once again. Yes. I'm just not going to sit here. Like if I'm betting the sure things that I feel super confident on this list, it's Georgia over. It's A&M over.
I put LSU over.
LSU over. Okay, I didn't want to be a homer, but I think I would say that.
I like Florida over.
Florida over. Yeah, those are 4 bets that I really like. I find it hard to fall in love with unders for some reason.
Do you think Vandy can get it done again this year?
one of the more
a magical season. I mean, I will
what wins? How many wins did they end with?
7. I love because I had their bowl game. I love the way they played against Georgia Tech. I was surprised. I thought Georgia Tech was going to beat them heading into the game. I was like, this Georgia Tech wins maybe by double digits. The toughness and then some of the playmaking ability, and then obviously Diego back. I think they got things moving in the right direction there in Nashville. So I'm kind of leaning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like what wins would be different. Like you're not going to beat Alabama again.
No.
It's like, how can I find? Hold on.
Charleston Southern, you can beat Virginia Tech, Georgia State, Utah State. That's 4. And then, I think Missouri can be competitive. I think Auburn can be competitive.
That's true, because on the same token, your same token about Vandy is you're not going to lose to Georgia State again. Like that was an early season loss before you knew how good you could be.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I definitely like it more than Kentucky over.
Oh, God, yeah.
Do we like the Arkansas under because of how hard the schedule is and how shocking it is that they got to where they were last year? Or do you give them credit, as you said off the top, for what they did last season?
I mean, I would lean. I think they can go bowling.
And Arkansas's at 5.5.
Maybe that's just me because I love Pittman, and I'm hoping Pittman can continue to right the ship a little bit after getting over last season. I think Taylor Green is uber athletic and talented. His second year in the system.
Oh, here's a chart we should have looked up for this. Bo Molinari talking about returning production, saying Mississippi State, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and A&M have the most returning production. That is a pretty returning production is sometimes not a great indicator. Well, here's how you have to frame it. And shout out Bill Connolly, because he's one that writes about this. It's not a great indicator of whether or not a team will be good or bad. It's a good indicator of whether they will be better or worse. So just because you have 95% return production doesn't mean you're winning 10 games. But if you won 5 games, I might believe that you're going to win 6 or 7.
100%.
So viewed through that lens, then yeah, I think you would like the over
for
on an Arkansas there. Do you like the over on a 3.5 Mississippi State?
So there is a love from that staff that Blake Shapen. So Shapen was the starting quarterback last year. He goes down. I thought the backup played tremendous all year. He now is transferred. He's at LSU with you guys, but they were very excited about it. But just they needed so much help everywhere on that football team. That defense last year. I mean, I had them against some really bad non-conference game, and the team they were playing was putting up points against them like it was nothing. There is so much work that needs to be done on that side of the football for Mississippi State.
Jeff Lebby doesn't really give a fuck about it.
No, I know he does. I love Lebby, great dude.
I like Lebby. I
would still think that. I think Mississippi State's not a 1 year and fix kind of situation.
But they got to win one SEC game to hit the over? You'd imagine.
So they play Arizona State, the Southern Miss,
Arizona, never mind.
Alcorn State, Northern Illinois. That's 3 wins. Find me another win: Tennessee, A&M, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, Ole Miss.
Oh, what a hard SEC schedule!
And then one of their non-cons is Arizona State.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Never mind. Stay away spot for your boy.
Yeah.
All right. So the only bets that I love here: Georgia over, LSU over, A&M over, just because of the rule.
Yep.
And Florida.
And we like Arkansas over.
I don't know if I love Arkansas over. I don't know if I would fire on it.
Okay.
But then again, what the fuck do I know? I went 3-20 in the NCAA March Madness tournament before I stopped betting. A little bit of that nut me and you had built up for a while now. My favorite part is like 95% of the money in my DraftKings account is just Aaron's money. Because I would only do like tiny bets and he would do like bets that were like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or even 10 times mine. So I'm gambling with your money, Aaron. Hell yeah, thanks, dog.
Not really. Please make gambling legal in Georgia. Come on.
I think I have not actually lost any of your money. I think I've basically lost all of my money in the account, though.
Okay.
During March Madness. Unfortunately. Therefore, I am. You'll see what Andrew Luck did at Stanford. So we talked about it last show, Andrew Luck firing Troy Taylor. But then hiring Frank Reich to be interim head coach for 2025. How odd is that? So we're here in spring ball, and we're wondering, okay, do you go grab Pagano? Do you rush like an NFL position coach to be the coach? I think this is an incredibly shrewd move by Andrew Luck. Now, where this is interesting is both parties off the jump are saying this is only for 8 or 9 months. Like, this is not a long-term deal. I guess there is potential where Frank Reich really falls in love with it and is very good. Then he sticks around, which that'd be good.
Well, I mean, obviously, if he kicks ass, they're not going to get rid of him.
Well, but he might not want to. He might not want to.
Yes, I think. Yes, but I think if he has success and he's enjoying it, and obviously Stanford has some sort of. I love Frank Reich. So Frank Reich was my OC in Philly for a year. Amazing dude. Yeah. Still disappointing things did not work out for him in the NFL when it came to head coach of the Panthers. But also,
he was a good head coach in Indy for a while there.
Yeah,
he had a lot of success. I mean, that's what's crazy about this is Stanford as an interim head coach just got a guy who was an NFL head coach for half a decade. Not that long ago, like a year or two. That's crazy. That is something that only Andrew Luck could pull off. Is it too late though?
I mean, is it too late in the game to kind of really truly build something that is yours, knowing that there's still this feeling internally and on the team that this is not a long commitment?
Well,
this is really a late Band-Aid being added on the floodgates, and it's just like, let's just get through the year.
But that's why the interim tag is genius to me and creative. He didn't scramble and say we have to make a long-term hire.
No, I agree that this is a smart decision. I'm just saying, like, the thought of this somehow magically working to me is extremely thin, especially at a place like Stanford.
Well, but again, I don't think the plan is for Reich to work. I think the plan is for Reich to sell the thing, like, because you're like, well, how does he recruit? Well, it's going to be tough, right? But what you can sell is, hey, it's still Stanford, and you can come play for a year and learn football from an NFL head coach. Like, you're going to get great coaching. But the larger part of this is that Andrew Luck now has it out there. The Stanford job is open. So whoever the next best coaches of the cycle are, we are open for business. I can start to vet you. I can start to interview you. And I can guarantee I have given myself runway to get the guy that I want. And then, because how modern college football works, I'm going to hire him before the transfer portal. And we're just going to attack the portal and completely remake the roster, top to bottom. It's a heady fucking play. I would be ecstatic if I was a Stanford fan.
What juice does Stanford have, though, when it comes to any of this? Like, you're talking about all these things that can be done, and I love Andrew Luck, and I know it's a big name, and he's the GM, and he just got the role as well. But this isn't Alabama or Georgia or Texas. This is a Stanford team.
It doesn't have to be, though. It has to be the ACC. No, here at the beginning, it just has to be the equivalent of its ACC peers. Yeah, what are you talking about? You win the ACC, you go to the playoff. It don't got to be Alabama or anything.
Are they going to get the talent? Are they going to get the full fan buy-in? Are they going to get the SMU big dollars written to get football players to show up to that campus?
As Royal Pain said,
do they care enough out there in California, Northern California, to write big checks to support this vision?
There is one person who can get them there, and it's Andrew Luck, their king. Like, that's the man who can fundraise.
They don't give a damn about football.
All it takes is getting a couple of them. They got more money to pull from than damn near anybody else.
I don't know. I just don't think that there's. I just think there's can't say this because they did have success when Luck was there. I mean, they had that run for 5 years when they're pretty good.
No. It goes beyond 5 years. They were like pretty awesome for like a 10-year span there. Let's see, from like Jim Harbaugh.
College football has evolved. We're in a new era of college football. There are the haves and the have-nots, and that gap is increased greatly. I don't know if Stanford can make up the differential in that gap.
So Harbaugh brought them from 1-11, then 4-8, 5-7, 8-5. Then he goes.
But now we've seen what kind of coach Harbaugh is. Are you going to find Harbaugh?
I agree. But then he goes 12-1. This is when he leaves for the NFL. But this kicks off a year of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bowl games in a row. An Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl. I mean, 12 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins, 10 wins. Like, it's still, and you ask what Stanford is going for. Again, if you can get money, they have money. If you can get them to open it up. The Stanford education remains undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of pride in getting a Stanford degree and going to that beautiful campus and getting to walk those hallowed halls. It's California. Which people enjoy. Like, it's the ACC as well. The bar is not nearly as high. And Andrew Luck's fucking good at everything he does. So guess what? Stanford's going to be good. Maybe not this year, but they'll be good long term.
I would love for they were good this year. I thought, shout out Frank Wright, baby. Make it work. But
no, the real shout out here, and guys, this is going to probably be the last topic today. So I apologize. We're not going to get to spring game stuff. That's fine, though. Whatever. Here's the real hero of the day, though, and that is Coastal Carolina. Check out this video that they just released here.
What's up, boss?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's the damage?
Free.
Free. Well, what about for this?
Free as well.
Free.
All of it free. You want some nachos?
Yeah.
Free too.
All free.
All free.
Free. Can I get 50 of these?
Yeah.
Free.
Free.
What about a drink?
All of it free.
Free.
Have 2 drinks.
Drinks?
Ooh. And
all
a hot
free?
dog. Yeah.
Hot dogs free too?
All free. There you go.
Free.
Free.
Sweet.
That's right, Till Nation. This fall in Brooks Stadium, every fan, every game, always free. Free concessions, popcorn, nachos, hot dog, fountain drinks, and water for every this fall. Come out to Brooks Stadium, get your tickets now, and cheer on the Shots. Go Shots.
That's incredible. First off, I had no idea that it was Teal Nation. Shout out Teal Nation. I also had no idea. I always knew. I always say Chanticleers, but I always called them the Chants or like the Shants in my head. The way he said it more like Shants, I suppose. But Locke Hesse says as a manager of a concession stand for our Little League, this blows my mind. Yeah. So no, this is not an April Fool's joke, by the way, guys. Sorry. This came out yesterday. But this is fascinating. So Coastal Carolina, when you buy a ticket to their to a football game this fall, Aaron, shout out Teal Nation, you can get 4 items per concession visit with no limit on the number of in-game visits. And it's hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, and fountain drinks. It's the holy trinity of cheap but fucking delicious concession foods.
Do we know what
unlimited popcorn, unlimited sodas? Like what? Fuck yes, let's go.
I love it. I'm just playing the other side of this and just asking questions here.
Oh my, here we go.
The money has to be, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. Let's be honest. There's always an end game. Shut up and listen. In today's world, we just talked about with Stanford, how do you survive in today's world? You need money. You need more money. You're not going to give shit away for free if you know you're not going to get more money on the back end, whether that's ticket sales, whether that is merchandise sales. I think it's genius. Great move by them. I'm interested to see at the end of the day how much money they made off of it in other avenues. So good for them. Good for them. But do you know if ticket prices went up?
Oh my God. I cannot. Did you read my notes? Yeah, I know you didn't read my notes on this. I'm just going to read you verbatim what I wrote about this because I had no idea that I was hosting the show with one of the dickheads from the comments because shut the fuck up.
Free hot dog. But hey,
no, stop.
Into your seat. Okay, yeah. Let me just stuff my fucking face with hot dogs and pay $50 extra to sit down in the stadium. Okay, thank you for my free hot dog.
I literally wrote the response because the responses in the tweet itself are the lamest things. It says the responses to this are so lame. Everyone asking about cost of tickets. Everyone talking about wait times. Everyone talking about portion size.
Times is stupid.
Like people just finding ways to bid. Just shut the fuck up for a second.
No.
And let us enjoy this fantasy of unlimited dogs, nachos, popcorn, and soda. And
you're paying for it somehow. You are paying for it somehow.
Yeah, probably by more people going to the game. And by buying jerseys and shit and whatnot. How about this? So Joe Pompliano, who's the business sports guy that had this tweet originally, said this. I'll share my notes. He said the Atlanta Falcons are a good case study. Mercedes-Benz dropped its concession prices by 50%, but fans entered the stadium earlier and spent more money on higher ticket items like merchandise. The Falcons, of course, got this idea from, it says, the Masters, which the Masters famously does that as well.
They give free food, or it's cheap?
It's cheap food in the Mercedes-Benz. It's like $2 for a Coke, $2 for a hot dog, whatever. No, it's not free. It's not free, but it's way more people that you're talking about here, way more product and whatnot. But the idea is the same, right? You don't now, and also the Falcons tickets themselves are very expensive. I can't imagine the Chanticleer's ticket to be too expensive.
Probably,
but it's that idea where you don't have to nickel and dime your customers. Okay, you get a big nut from them up front with a ticket, and then you rely on them buying jerseys or merchandise and shirts and hats. Like obviously, somebody sat down and said, again, I agree with you. I agree with your cynical take. They're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart.
No.
So somewhere on the ledger sheet, they believe that a combination of the goodwill gained, kind of brand goodwill gained, and whatever other sales or attendance they think will increase. Because remember, beer's not free. Nope. You still be buying beer, right? But whatever, you're telling me you're not going to want to go back and get another beer if you can just snag a popcorn on the way? Does it make you want to go back and get more beer? Go get more of this or that? It's like, so it's again, not as good as their heart, but I love it because instead of nickel and dime the customer for all that it's worth, it's saying, you know what, maybe we can actually gain some more long-term value by making the customers feel as if they're getting a good deal. And
give them more processed fucking food to stuff down their face.
Are you fucking with me? That's the other response that I kept seeing that I didn't even put in my notes.
Did you see that?
What is wrong with you? You are the worst person on the internet. Come to life and I host a podcast with you.
My arteries. I want to die. Whoa,
oh my God. Yes. Shut the fuck up. It's a football game.
Give me more
fucking hot dog.
More hot dogs.
Oh my God.
Ketchup. Yes. More obesity. Just more obesity. Oh God. Bro, they find a way to rip you off somehow. It's going to make you more unhealthy.
This is, I hate you. Never mind. You know what? This is an awesome story. Unfortunately, again, I host a podcast with the walking human amalgamation of the comment section of the internet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Why don't you just give more free candy too while you're at it with a bunch of red dyes, you know? Just kill everyone in the stadium.
My wife hates red dye. Captain Spartan, $10 super chat. Forever fuck Kentucky, and they can always eat shit. The school is a disappointment and a disgrace to represent this state. Fun question. First car. Just got my second one Saturday and dream car. This has got to be one of the wildest super chats I've ever seen. Went out of his nowhere to just fuck Kentucky, like fuck the Wildcats. And then like, hey, fun question. What's your first car? What's your dream car? My first car, I'm a spoiled little bitch, was a used F-150 black. It was nice. It was cool. Yep. Two-wheel drive, nothing too special. Of course, I'm a spoiled bitch. I was like, I want like a lifted truck. Whatever. I should just been very thankful that I got a first car. Dream car.
I had the F-150 too. My dad's F-150 gave it to me. There you go.
I don't have a I am not a car guy in the slightest. So dream car.
What's the first car you would buy if you won the lottery?
Like, honestly,
Yeah.
like the most badass minivan out there.
Okay.
Like, I would get a minivan. I don't know what company has the best kind. I do commercials for All Star and I love the Sienna, but like I would buy the most tricked out. No, or maybe like one of those. Maybe like a giant Mercedes Sprinter van. You ever seen those?
Yes.
A rich friend who has 5 kids. He bought one of those, and those things are insane.
What, a Hester?
No. But yeah, basically maybe like a giant Mercedes Sprinter van that's fully tricked out. That'd be pretty sick.
I just want one of those new Ford Broncos, like decked out, roof
People
off.
love Broncos, huh?
I love it. Yeah, just to drive around the town with the little kids, roof off, good weather. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good one.
Aaron's modeling diet: soak water in bread, drink the water, throw away the bread, and if you get hungry, just cry.
Fucking right.
RTR Christmas mean to oil up. Unfortunately, I've run out of coconut oil in the office. So
I heard this thing. Have you ever tried
look at this gray hair.
Using coconut oil in your mouth to swish around for a few minutes?
No, why is that?
It's supposed to be really good for you, so might have to do it soon. Another way for you to enjoy coconut oil.
To do what though? Like, what do I do? Like,
you just literally use it as mouthwash.
Like coating my teeth? Do you know how greasy your teeth would feel?
Just must be really good for you.
Teeth afterwards? I don't know, man. That's tough for me. I'll try. I'm open to try it if you're saying it's better, but that's tough.
I mean, it makes your wife's mouth nice and slimy. Which could be fun.
Didn't talk about my wife that way. What the fuck is wrong with you? JV Senior with some advanced analytics here. TBob, thousands of hot dogs consumed, 2 national championship appearances. Aaron, 0 hot dogs consumed, 0 national championship appearances. That's a very good point, Aaron. Connect the dots. What
are glizzies? What are glizzies?
Glizzies are hot dogs.
Okay.
How do you not know that?
I don't know that.
Oh, you are an old man.
Zach knows it. It's called oil pulling. Oil pulling. Look it up.
Oil pulling?
Oil pulling.
That's a kind of funny combination of words to say for each other. Your mouth really doesn't like forming those. Oil pull. Mine neither. Oil pulling.
Oil pulling.
Say oil pulling.
Oil pulling.
Yeah. What are you doing there, Aaron? I'm just doing a little oil pulling. Look at me, you and Matt Berry. I don't know. I think that sounds terrible, but I'll try it out.
Maybe I haven't done it yet, so just don't be mad at me because this is just listening to.
Do I need to melt it first, or do I melt it in my mouth? Because when you get it out of the jar, it's in a solid form still.
I would think melt it to be safe.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, guys, we love you. That was a very fun show today. Thank you as always. And we will be back Thursday. I still can't believe your response to the concession story. That's anyway.
Fucking hot dogs. Just like give them like free grilled chicken. Make the world healthier.
Out of all the things that I would eat out of a concession stand, grilled chicken would be among the last. Just some rubbery, unseasoned, mass-produced dog shit, dry grilled chicken. Like, there's a reason. Yes, is the foods they're giving away trash? Absolutely. But that's what you want out of a concession stand. You don't get fancy. Eat trash. Anyway, love you guys. And we'll see you Thursday, noon.